shortly after this whole episode where I was determined to be DID, came a very small saving grace. I had just started to take my psychology, my intro to psychology required course in university. And my teacher that I had happened to be a skeptic. And I would take everything that she said with a grain of salt. I remember sitting in class and she would be kind of talking very skeptically about recalled memories, and I would just be sitting there like, well, you don't know. And she showed us a video with James Randi in it. And in it, it was where he was debunking Uri Geller, and he was showing how to do cold readings, and he was showing, he was specifically showing like how he debunked, what's that guy's name, Popov, the religious guy, and Uri Geller, and I didn't believe it at the time, but it definitely implanted something in my mind about being skeptical, because I'd never been taught to think critically or to ask questions about things. I had just been taught that if a reliable source tells you something, then it must be true. And also, if you haven't noticed, pseudoscience has a way of backing itself up with scientific-sounding claims when the claims aren't scientific at all. They're usually studies done within their own organization, something that is very hugely biased and is backing up their own claims that they make. But anyway, watching that video with James Randi in it, at the very least, struck a chord with me, and it just made me interested in being skeptical. I don't remember exactly what made me turn to being skeptical, but I do remember downloading some episodes of the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe podcast, and I don't remember why I even did that or how I heard about it. But I did. And I started listening to those podcasts, and then they would mention something in the podcast that would, make me curious, and so I'd go look it up, and I learned more about science and being skeptical. And that is essentially what drove me to become a critical thinker, to make the effort to change all of my thinking, my entire perception, into what I have today. I'm rather proud of myself for having done that, because a lot of people, when they get that deep into pseudoscience, they don't return, or they at least don't make that much of an effort to really change their way of thinking, and I really am proud of myself for having done that. Because I made a 180, or 360, however many degrees, that's how many I turned. I don't remember a lot of sessions after the Theophostic one with Rufus and whatnot. I remember, though, our last 2 sessions. I had, excuse me, I had made the decision that I didn't want to see her anymore as a therapist. I had made the decision that she was harming rather than hurting me. Or, wait a second, that she was harming me rather than helping me. I don't know why I can't get that right. And I had made that decision through listening to the Skeptic's Guide and doing my own research. And I had come to that conclusion, and I felt stupid. I just felt so stupid. Stupid and naive. And I just said, I can't go to her anymore, because it's not helping me, it's making me feel worse, and I'm not getting anything out of it, because everything that she's told me is a lie. So I told her one session that I was going to see somebody else, and I think I said specifically for sexual problems, to try and, I don't know, in a last-ditch attempt to kind of tell her, like, oh yeah, I'm working on the whole sexual abuse thing. So, you know, I told her that, and then I said, I just don't think that I'm getting anything out of these sessions anymore, and seeing as a therapist really can't, like, keep you there against your will. She didn't try and do that, at least. Out of all the shit that she did to me, she didn't do that. So, she did say, you know, you're always welcome back, blah, blah, blah. She mentioned that she would keep my files if I ever wanted them, which is a handy piece of information because I might be needing those soon. And the last thing that I kind of remember her telling me was about a movie called What the Bleep Do We Know? Down the Rabbit Hole, which, ironically, my boyfriend owns for some ungodly, stupid reason. I've never watched it. I never will, and I never want to. But she talks about that movie, and I guess there's a part in the movie where the presenter is talking about how a container of freezing ice, if it has a word next to it that's positive, it freezes in a nice, pretty pattern. And then if it has a word next to it that's negative, it freezes in a broken and distorted pattern. And that was supposedly to prove that down at our molecular level, if somebody says something negative to us, it may not affect us right away, but it affects us at our core. Some retarded bullshit like that. And, you know, my therapist, she was always on top of whatever pseudoscience was the fad at the time. That's how we got started on Theophostic. That's how I went to that iridologist. It literally was whatever was popular within pseudoscientific therapy at the time. That is what she would recommend for me. It was all very faddish, just like it still is in a lot of circles, unfortunately. But from there, I made a conscious effort to let go of all of my burdens that she had shouldered me with over the years. And I tried really hard, and I feel like I have, except of course, I'm angry as hell that she did all of this to me. I feel like she took away part of my life. And I feel like she just dumped all of this stuff on me that wasn't true. And literally just ruined part of my life. Like I said, there was days when I couldn't function. I was so depressed because of everything that she had taught me that I should feel. That's how I felt. And what is the purpose of me telling you all this? I want her license revoked. She does not need to be practicing therapy ever. If she is telling these kinds of things to other people and ruining their lives like she did mine, that makes me want to vomit. I am so disgusted with what she did to me and the lies that she told me that I want to see that she never practices again. Ever. What she is doing is hurting people. She is ruining lives. And that is the purpose of my journey. And this is the beginning of it, is just the telling of my story. Through my efforts, I hope that I can accomplish this. And I hope that in a very small way, I can make it a safer place for people to go into therapy if there's not people like her out there. In a very, very small way. I know I'm just eliminating one person out of the pool of, oh man, who knows how many quacks are out there like her. But if I can eliminate one, then I will feel like I've done something. I've done something to help someone else, because nobody can go to her anymore if she doesn't have a license. She can't do this to any more people. And that's what I want to do. I want to get her license revoked.